bring better attainable housing to this area, we hope. That's our goal. And what sets us apart from some of the 25 or 30 other groups who are in the same thing that we're trying to do here in this area, we hope to bring some of them in to work with us, in fact, is that we actually have financial backing behind us from some investment groups. And because we have built before, we have a track record. We have built before, but we built under for-profit basis, not nonprofit. So, but anyway, I'll be happy to, and hopefully we can get you elected, and be happy to work with you any way we can, and any other people we can too in the area, because it's going to take a team. Just like you said, it takes a whole council realizing that we have this serious problem here in Bradenton, not only in Ward 5, of course, but in all over the area of attainable housing. We just don't have it. So
yes. That is great. I would look forward to collaborating with that. And you're so right. It takes all of us communicating and working collectively, and not everybody going in their own little different directions. That is. I commend you. I'm looking forward to that progressing.
Thank you, and we'll be looking forward to talking to you about this in the future here. We have, under the for-profit model that we did, we developed all over the country. Right now, we still will too under the nonprofit model, but we're concentrating. Why the reason I'm here in this area, that's the reason I moved in this area, was to develop attainable affordable housing. And then we ended up, the project that we originally scheduled to come in here in 2012 and 2013 went to Orlando because we couldn't get the local backing that we needed here. So that's part of the reason we switched over to the nonprofit model, and we're building the NGOs up that we need in this area to back us and to work with them. So you'll be hearing a lot more about this in the future, I'm sure, as we get ready to make an official announcement. And it's been one thing after another to get things lined up and get the people we need behind us. But on that one area, that's one area we can certainly be a big help in. I think in that area, we hope. Listen, tell me about when you were considering this run as well. You know, there is different things that, as you mentioned here, that your priorities were for this area. What are some things that people have told you that they would like seen done, or people have communicated with you that they would like to see happen here, and that you think you've made notes about or talked about with people? You know, and I know you work a lot and you're kept busy, so like a lot of people. But what do you have any thoughts you can throw out on that we can discuss?
Well, I'll tell you something that is actually like fresh. A few hours ago, I was out in the front yard, and I live a few blocks down from Bradenton Village, and it was a old friend of mine that was walking by, and she was talking about, you know, living out there and how things aren't being kept, you know, well kept and maintained, and it was just one thing after the other, and you're thinking, well, this is the city of Bradenton's housing authority, and you would hope that it was being, you know, well kept, and it could be a matter of this current virus, and it could be a matter of limited staff or funding, but that in itself was just so fresh in my mind about the conditions of even some of the city dwellings here. But I also work with a lot of families because I work in the school district, and housing is just probably the number one thing that has most people, it has their attention. I find that our students can even progress because they're worried more about the conditions that they're living in. So how would they then be able to concentrate on increasing their reading level? And that is just so in the forefront is what I hear a lot from citizens. But then I also hear a lot of why our youth are not, or many of our youth are not progressing to a reading, a grade level in their reading skills. A lot are below, and there's a need for community tutoring and outreach and some kind of organized agency that will kind of take, let's say, work the void between the schools and homes for students. And I know that there are a few things floating around, but I think as you were talking about how you're collectively working, staying focused, then that's another area that all of these different groups and different sororities and fraternities that have these different projects, if they can all work together and kind of make a blanket system of helping with educating our youth.
I'll give you a stat right here. You have, did you know that you have over 500 homeless youth that are in the Manatee school system?
Yes, I am not familiar with specific stats, but I find no difficulty believing that, because I know they exist at my.
It's unbelievable, and what you're saying there is exactly right. You know, the difficulty in going into a learning environment when you don't even know if you have a place to sleep that night, or even food or whatever, and that should not be the status of so many people we have, and it's been a problem here we've experienced throughout the country. In fact, where we have a system that is not adequately taking care of people of the lower income brackets, and it's this here. I'll give you a quick example here before we run out of time. Our time is going to be running down here in a minute, but a quick example being, imagine the frustration, and they knew that this is nothing new. They knew they had a poor working unemployment system. All these tens of thousands of people in Florida who've lost their jobs here in the past few weeks, and they can't even get to the pathetic $275 or $250, whatever it is a week they're supposed to get unemployment. You imagine that's awful. I just don't understand why people aren't being held accountable for this, and it goes to the very top. It goes to the deliberate incompetence and negligence that's at the very top of the state. And that's where the buck needs to stop there. I heard yesterday on the news that they had terminated the head of the division. Well, that's not going to do any good. They knew they had a problem there before, because but the issue is it's not right. It's just not right, and we have to figure out ways to better serve our less fortunate people in this country.
Yes. I totally agree. We've got to all work together and instead of separately in attacking that. I was just recently on a conference call with the faculty that I work with and my principal, and we're still trying to reach some of the kids that are not able to access the virtual learning, and that's all they have now. And in fact, it's sad because the school is pretty much their safe haven. It's where they get their meals. It's where it's comfortable. And to know that we've got them out there and we can't touch them, we can't, help. It's frustrating. But we definitely need to have a collaborative effort, pull everyone together and work on this. It's not going to go away until we do.
It is, and unless we get more equality here, and more equity in our systems, and develop things that we can get better input from the people to and listen to them and take constructive action. Okay, listen, Pam, we have about a minute and a half here to wrap up. So can you summarize what you want our listeners to take away from your thoughts today, and why you are the candidate that should be elected here to represent Ward 5 in Bradenton?
Well, thank you. I genuinely, passionately feel for people who are not being represented, and not to take away from our current elected officials, but I just feel like I am a person that I work harder when I'm working for someone else, when I feel like they are not able to communicate their needs. That's one reason why I'm a speech pathologist, is being able to someone get their voices heard. And it starts there, having someone at the table that genuinely has only the residents, the citizens at heart, and that agenda is the forefront of everything that I would do. I'm a great listener, and I can be a quiet bulldog. I can be a loud bulldog. I genuinely want the residents of Ward 5, as well as the entire city of Bradenton, hearing their voices and protecting them and bringing the quality of life to an equitable level.
Excellent, and that's what we need. We have a work to do in that area. Okay, so listen, Pam, it's been great having you here today, and I want to thank you, and to our listeners, thank you for listening, and we hope you have enjoyed today's discussion. This has been Coastal Progressive Rainbow Forum on Society Bites Radio, and I've been your host, Steve Ryan.